Boy Scout, yeah. Okay, I'd like to call to order the Township Council meeting for September 3rd, 2019. If we could all please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. If anyone has any cell phones or anything like that, if you could silence them or put them on mute, it would be greatly appreciated. First item on the agenda for this evening is the approval of the public meeting minutes for August 6th, August 20th, and August 27th. We have a motion to approve those minutes.
So moved.
We have a second.
Second motion.
Any questions or discussion?
I have a couple of questions or comments, Mr. President. On the August 6th meeting minutes, we had a plastic bag ordinance
Yes,
that was voted on to be advertised.
yes.
When is that ordinance forthcoming? I have not seen it yet.
Were you absent at that meeting? Is that the one you were absent? I think that's what, you handed it out that day. I'll make sure you have it. I'll
Okay.
email it to you right away.
I did. I requested it by email too. Okay.
No problem.
Thank
That's
you. No, I've also, so on that same meeting, we voted to authorize the traffic and vehicle code ordinance. Is that going to be some sort of like omnibus stop sign ordinance? I get, my bottom line question is how are we going to handle if we decide one or more of these stop signs is not legitimate or necessary? How are we going to pull those out?
I think you've had some discussions with me regarding that.
Sure.
Would you like to answer that, please? Thank you.
I believe that Nate is going to provide a list of all the stop signs in the township in the next few days, and then we're going to move from there after we receive the list. That's all I can tell you at this point.
Because the last ordinance I saw just has one space for all of the stop signs to be listed.
That's correct.
I guess my problem is,
Well, it leaves a space for these stop signs to be listed, but go ahead.
but if we come to the conclusion during the hearing that certain stop signs are not going to be included in that list, would that be a material change, and would we have to re-advertise after that? I guess that's getting more towards the pointed question.
But we'll have to wait and see what happens after he gives us the list and what happens at the hearing. I mean, I don't know if any of them are unnecessary. They all may be necessary, they all may not be necessary, but we'll discuss that at the time of the public hearing.
Okay. Are we going to have studies for all of the stop signs that we have studies for?
I don't think there was
When you
any-
say to me, are we going to have studies, what,
Traffic studies that when you usually have a stop sign ordinance, the first thing to do is to have a traffic study.
and where are you
And
coming
then
to,
you
where are you coming to the conclusion that that's what you have to do?
That is PennDOT's regulation.
I believe that if careful reading of PennDOT regulations does not state, but that's something we can discuss at the public hearing.
Sure. Be continued. There also, Mr. Crossan motioned to approve some changes in the August 6th public meeting to make some changes to the July 2nd minutes. On the July 2nd minutes, we still have not put a point on who motioned and who seconded it. Ordinance number 387, which was the marijuana, the retail. It was originally in there that I motioned it, and I did not motion.
I think we already approved those minutes, so I don't know how we can go back and amend them.
I'm not asking that they necessarily be amended. I'm just saying that there's no minutes that show an accurate motion and a second at this point.
At the regular meeting, there was video, and I actually believe that you motioned that. So we can go back through it again, and if the minutes need to be amended for that motion, we can definitely make that amendment.
Well, let me put that on the record that we need to look at
Sure.
that. And then in same regard to that 387, we never got a reason for Mr. Gillespie's abstention on that vote. He voted on, I believe it was 386, on the grow ordinance, but not on the retail ordinance. I'm wondering why.
Well, go ahead.
I don't know that I need to say why. I abstained, period.
I believe that's incorrect. I believe
There's
when you
nothing
abstain,
in the law that tells me I need to give a reason.
not for a yes or a no, but for an abstention, you usually need to have some sort of stated reason. In many municipalities, it actually is written.
Okay. Anything else, Josh?
Yes, on looking back at the July minutes, I want to put on these minutes that in there, on the first page, there's a sentence that says, "Court found M. Harding did nothing wrong. M. Harding is a Republican Party endorsed candidate and an opponent of Jay Twersky." I'm not sure why that commentary is in there. I don't think that is correct. And I just wanted to make sure that it gets into these minutes, that is my commentary to this, if there's going to be a colloquy back and forth on this, which seems somewhat ridiculous. It goes on to say that Mr. Harding prevailed in the litigation suit, which is not true.
Okay. Anything else, Josh?
I do not believe I have anything else.
Okay. We have a motion and a second to approve the minutes. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Next item on the agenda is the expenditures for the month of $1,946.42, which is made up of an August payroll of $150,781.75, current bills totaling, township bills, $746,234.27. I guess the road payment bill is in there somehow? Yeah.
Yep, you're about to approve that sort of at the end. Yep.
Okay, and current sewer bills totaling $104,930.40. We have a motion to approve those expenditures.
So moved.
We have a second. We have a motion and a second. Any questions or discussion?
Yes. I am curious. I have yet, in all of year 2019, to see any expenditures out of the tree fund, which now is raging on at $534,000. We have not spent anything out of that fund. I mean, I don't know about you, but this seems to be like turning into a classic pay-to-play type situation.
Okay. Any other questions?
We
with
have
Josh?
a tree plan that has yet to been acted on. I don't know if that plan is actually real or not, but do we have any intention on moving forward to spend any of this
When
money?
the opportunity presents itself for a worthwhile project to be funded by the tree fund, I'm sure council at that time will act accordingly.
But we
Anything
have
else regarding the tree fund?
a plan to move forward.
Perhaps we'll talk about that at the agenda meeting, and maybe we will spend some of that money before the end of the year if council so deems it appropriate.
Well, also, I just wanted to point out that we are currently running a $400,000 surplus in the budget year-to-date, which means we're approaching about $12 million of overcollected taxes over the last 10 years. And we're headed towards budget season, and I see absolutely no reason why there should not be a tax reduction for the good people of Concord
We
Township.
can discuss that
in
when we come
2020.
around to the budget season, but I have disagreed with you on numerous occasions. The residents of Concord Township are not overtaxed. Revenues are above budget because of things such as transfer taxes, land development fees, amusement tax, the LST tax, not paid directly through the real estate tax bills. But we can debate that at a later date when we have the budget. Do you have anything else so we can move for a vote to approve the payment of the bills?
I look forward to
Okay.
additional discussion.
Motion and second, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Mr. Gillespie, you have a resolution regarding, we had an Eagle Scout last month, do I?
Yep.
Popular time of the year.
Great.
Resolution number 41 of 2019. Resolution of the Concord Township Council congratulating Alden J. Lipiarski on his outstanding achievement in attaining the rank of Eagle Scout. Whereas Alden J. Lipiarski is the recipient of the highest scouting award, Eagle Scout, In honor of this achievement, a Court of Honor ceremony will be held Saturday, September 7th, 2019, at 10 a.m. at Elam United Methodist Church, 1073 Smithbridge Road, Glen Mills, PA. And whereas Boy Scouts of America is a vital force in the development of our youth through its many programs which encourage the ability of its members to do things for themselves and especially for others. One of the major objectives in the Scouting program is to develop citizenship through community involvement, and in addition to working for citizenship merit badges, Scouts are encouraged to participate in community service projects. And whereas, for his community service project, after acquiring the materials, Alden directed a group of Scouts and leaders in the construction of 20 adjustable hurdles and 6 serpentine weaves made of PVC piping for dog training. He conducted 2 donation drives to collect over a half a ton of dog and cat food, cat toys, cleaning supplies, various other supplies, and $920.60 in donations. The training objectives and all donations were delivered to the Providence Animal Center in Media, PA, and La Mancha Animal Rescue in Unionville, PA. And whereas Alden J. Lipiarski of Troop 260 has proven himself to be an outstanding member of the Boy Scouts of America, having served as Den Chief, Quartermaster, and Patrol Leader. The Eagle Scout Award is a distinction that will follow him throughout his life. Therefore, be it resolved that the Concord Township Council congratulates Alden on being the recipient of the highest scouting award, Eagle Scout, and encourages him to continue his commitment to excellence. Passed and approved this 3rd day of September 2019. That's in the form of a motion, Mr. President, for resolution number 41 of 2019.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Adam, if you'd like to come forward.
To the Boy Scout leaders, keep sending more candidates. We love this part of our program, and we look forward to another one coming. Thank you.
Monthly activity reports. I do not see anyone here from the Pennsylvania State Police. Sewer Department, Mr. Gillespie.
Yes, I have the monthly activity report for August. Both the main plant and Riviera plant continue to meet discharge requirements within the parameter of the NPDES permit, and the operations staff performed 9 lateral inspections as required for resale certification. End of report.
Thank you.
I have a question
Sure.
for Mr. Gillespie. With respect to sewers and the pumping station, what capacity are the pumping stations throughout the township currently at? Are some at their limit, others not?
Well, that's a loaded question. I'm not prepared to answer. We normally discuss these things at staff meetings. Over the last year or two, there hasn't been any issue of pump stations being at or near their limits. So I would say that we're in pretty good shape.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, Code Enforcement, Zoning Officer Mano.
Council President,
We're not used to them working.
Yeah. Members of council, fellow residents. In August 2019, our department issued 24 building permits, 8 plumbing permits, 13 mechanical permits, 23 electrical permits, 3 fire code related permits, 1 free standalone zoning permit, 72 in total. We also issued 16 resale certs for residential single-family units and 2 commercial resale certs. 6 sign permits, 2 special event permits, 26 certificates of occupancy, one of which was for a single-family dwelling. Questions?
I know. Surprisingly, I have a question.
Wait. First one. Go ahead.
The total COs on, I guess, I love this report, by the way, but on the third page, total COs are 26. How is that calculated? Because I only see 25, but is it the UNOs and then all those miscellaneouses?
Certificate of occupancy, by definition, is issuing a certificate of occupancy. That's the O of the UNO. The occupancy. And we issue those at the time that property is being sold or commercial or residential. So that's what you have there. I'll go over further with you, and I'm prepared to email you if there's any correction to be made.
Okay, if you could look at that, because I get 25.
Very good, no problem.
Okay, appreciate it.
Thank you. Planning Commission, Rich Jewelson, please.
Mr. Chairman, council, public, pleased to present the activities for the Planning Commission for August 2019. There were 2 extensions granted, one for Chetty Limited Partnership, LLC, granted an extension until October 16, 2019. Chick-fil-A is the second one. Preliminary Land Development granted an extension until December 18, 2019. Bay Klein of Panoni reviewed and answered questions on the proposed subdivision of 16.9 acres all property located at 527 Featherbed Lane. Parties desire to move the existing lot line to create 2 lots. Lot 1 consists of 13.83 acres of unimproved space. Lot 2 consists of 2.231 acres, which will contain the following: spring house, garage, residence, pond, and some historic resources. The subdivision has been proposed to allow the transfer of Lot 1 to Township, with the owners retaining Lot 2. Last month, Council at its meeting approved the agreement and is proceeding to settlement on the property. The Planning Commission voted to recommend approval. Another project, Astor Kennett and Mauve Health representatives presented a slide presentation of its proposed project to construct a healthcare center at 3547 Watkins Avenue for total hip, joint, and/or knee replacement on an outpatient setting. Patients who have been fully discharged from their surgical procedure may go home or choose to stay at Mauve Suites for 24 to 48 hours, accompanied by a relative. Beyond this stay, in-home services and physical therapy will be provided. The Commission reviewed the proposed ordinance to amend the definition of health center and has forwarded the comments to Council. The Commission also interviewed Donald P. Sanford for one of the vacancies on the Planning Commission during our agenda meeting on August 12th. This brings the Commission's interview process to a close. Scheduled for September 9th, the agenda meeting, September 16th, the public meeting, and September 24th, the caucus. That concludes my presentation.
Can I ask a question to Mr. Jolson,
Yes.
please? With respect to the Astoria Kennett plan, did this Planning Commission look at how that may affect other healthcare centers in the what would it be, C2 areas?
There, have it done the same day, conceivably, they can go home, or they remain for no more than 48 hours. Then they receive in-home treatment. I don't see how it's going to affect anybody.
What I'm saying is, though, could this, and did the planning commission look at how this particular text amendment may affect other healthcare centers in the C2 districts? In other words, we changed the definition, we want to change the definition.
If I might interject, tonight, under new business item number 3, we're going to consider authorizing this ordinance. I think, Josh, your questions are very fair and very important, but perhaps they should be better conducted under ordinance setting when the applicant has the opportunity to perhaps answer some of these questions since they are going to be the owner-operator of the facility as opposed to the planning commission.
Well, I wanted to get the planning commission's.
Well, I'm sure the planning commission is going to be opining on this again once this goes out to advertisement. And I think Mr. Tversky raises a good point. Perhaps your deliberations at that point, you might want to consider what his question was.
Well, maybe we can bring him up during our authorization.
Okay, we can talk about that. All right, Solicitor, Mr. Donahue.
Yes, other than the executive session which was held at the last agenda meeting concerning real estate matters and potential litigation, I have nothing to report at this time.
I'm on tonight, what can I say? I have a question regarding the executive session. Why so little information at this point concerning the letter that we received?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
This is with respect to Mr. Jaros's letter.
Yes?
Why won't there be additional information since we've made a decision on how we want to proceed?
Because there could be potential litigation, as I explained at the executive session. I'm going to follow council's direction as to what my instructions are and leave it at that. I'm not here to speculate what may or may not happen in a future court
Could we
action.
give the public more information on what was on that letter? I mean, isn't that right to knowable at this point?
I don't believe so, Mr. Tversky, but that's just my opinion. You know, I have a certain opinion as to where this may lead. My objective is to protect the taxpayers in the township and this council, and that's what I intend to do.
That's fair. Let's see where that goes. I do have a question regarding, since we're getting into budget season, with respect to the solicitorship and specifically, I can't find anywhere where you are a registered voter or a taxpayer in Concord Township. And
What's that got?
I am not a taxpayer in Concord Township, and I'm not a voter in Concord Township because I do not live in Concord Township.
okay. And so I find it interesting that for many, many years that you've given thousands and thousands of dollars.
Josh, you're out of
to the
order.
Concord
Josh, you are
Township
out of order
Republican
trying to
Party.
make this a political
that-
hatchet job.
No, this is-
Because you
this
got
is-
beat in
we
the
should be-
election. Let's call a spade here.
We should be, well, we are. We should be looking to bid out the solicitorships.
Well,
and
we
all
can
of our
talk about that
professionals,
when we have the
including
reorganization meeting,
the
when the new
CPAs.
board is seated. Okay, anything
And
else?
that's a
I'd be-
pertinent-
I'd be-
that
I'd
is
be-
a pertinent point.
I'd be happy
Which
to-
is, there's
I'd be
no
happy
other
to-
reason except for the over $100,000 a year that he has a connection. And I don't understand why. I mean, it's obviously political, you're right. I agree, but that shouldn't happen.
Okay, Josh, thank you.
And I'd be happy to answer your question, Mr. Tversky.
You have a First Amendment right.
I've been a Republican, I believe, for the last 40 years. I have been involved in Republican politics in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania I was a co-chairman of the Ronald Reagan Bush campaign in Delaware County. I have supported Concord Township Republicans. I have supported Chadds Ford Township Republicans. I have supported many Republican organizations in Delaware County, and I'm proud to do so. But thank you for your comments.
Doesn't make any sense to me.
Okay. Nate is not here tonight. Amanda, do you have a report?
I have a short report.
Please.
I'll switch it on a happier note. Come to Community Day. Community Day is this Saturday at 4
Will
o'clock
there
p.m.
be fireworks there?
There will be different fireworks. There will be fireworks. Very excited. I hope everyone comes out. We're really excited. We're doing a first ever mural art project. A young woman, local student, has art that we approved and won. And Darlington Arts is assisting us in getting that up. And we are going to unveil it. On Community Day, we have bands, we have good food, we have great local businesses and vendors going to be there, so I really hope everyone comes out. It starts at 4 p.m., it ends at dusk. I think around 8 o'clock we usually do the fireworks, and then you're on your way home after a happy evening, so I hope everyone joins us.
With any questions or anything regarding the agenda? Yes, ma'am. We'll need your your name and your address, please, for the record.
Taggart, 1 Maple Lane. Taggart, Taggart.
Your address, please?
1.
1 Maple Lane. Okay.
The reason I'm here tonight is because I talked to you about it. We are the first house right off of Smithbridge. So whether you're going one way or the other on Smithbridge, right or left on my street,
Okay.
first house right there. And that we're actually really close to the street compared to the house across the street. We're very close to the street. People have been flying in off. I'm talking, some people, 25. I've seen people doing 50, zooming in my neighborhood. I have a young 3-year-old daughter, about to be 4, and I want like 4 more kids. I love kids. This is our forever home. We put a lot into this home. This is our forever home. And I want my children to be safe. On top of that, I can get more if you guys would like it. I went to 13 to 15 houses yesterday. Every big.
A little closer to the microphone.
Closer? Okay. So, is that good? Sorry, I'm loud. I went to between 13 and 15 houses yesterday. Every person who opened the door to me signed my paper in support of me, in support of my family, in support of us asking to put a sign coming into the neighborhood, either on Smithbridge or right when you turn into our neighborhood, to watch children, or children at play, or drive like your children play here, your children live here, anything along the lines of that, to get the message out that there are children here in this neighborhood. And it was funny because I didn't realize how many kids are in my neighborhood. And I mean, every night, me and my family, we don't have sidewalks. We take a nightly walk every night. And I actually pay attention recently, and so do tons of other families. Tons of other families.
I think we got an email on this. This was the Watch Children sign or Children at Play sign.
Yep, that is correct. As soon as you said the name, a bell rung, and I did reach out to council.
I personally, as one of 7, have no problem with putting that up as soon as we can. I think we've done it in other communities. I think it's a fair, and obviously, everybody on that sheet thinks the same way. But I think that it's something we should do, and we should do immediately. I'd rather err on the side of caution. If putting this sign up, somebody realized they have to go a little slower, then the job was well done. We should do it.
I met with Mrs. Taggart and her husband a couple Sundays ago, and I witnessed this firsthand.
So you're in agreement too, Tom?
Can I make a comment on that? Sure. So I'm in agreement too. I'm a data guy, and I just keep an eye out because the signs don't slow people down. The only thing that slows people down is traffic enforcement. So what I would suggest is that we ask the state police to run some traffic enforcement and write some darn tickets out there.
I think that.
I was even thinking about that too.
That really slows people down.
That's something
But
we've
watch
done in the past.
that sign, watch your children, because it could give you a false sense of security, but I'm not going to stand in the way of it.
And if you go out of my neighborhood, you make a right and you go towards Fox Hill, the 55 and older community.
Yeah.
Right there on the right-hand side, there's a sign, a speed limit sign, and it's electronic.
The digital one.
So it flashes, it tells you how fast you're going, and that's fairly new.
Yeah.
It hasn't done shit, to be honest with you guys. It hasn't done anything. So I really agree with you that I think if we have a police officer sitting on my street and watching people go back and forth and watching these people zoom by,
gotta change it up.
that'd be really cool.
We can, and Amanda, I'm sure will
Yeah,
let
that'd be
the state
awesome.
troopers know to maybe put a cop car there for a little bit and keep
That'd be
their eye
awesome.
on that intersection. But in the meantime, I guess if everyone is in agreement, I think we should direct the manager to alert the state police to maybe put an enforcement effort on Smith Bridge in this location, and also direct the Public Works Department to put up the Your Choice, Watch Children or Children at Play signs.
There's an actual sign that was suggested by the engineer in the email that I sent, and it's Watch Children.
So if everybody's in agreement with that, I
Is
think
that in the form of a motion, Mr. President?
if somebody would make that motion.
Yeah, I'll make that motion, and I fully support what you're saying. In the community where I live, we have 100 homes, and there are three signs on our main street to remind people about the children playing. And let's face it, the motoring public today does drive way too fast. So I think a sign or two in strategic locations could help, as well as the police enforcement. So, yeah, I'll make that motion.
Do
And
we
I'm
have a
going to second it.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Mrs. Taggart, you might want to give that list of signatures to Amanda's.
Good idea, Tom. Good idea. All right, anybody else? Seeing none, we're going to move right along to new business. First is Resolution Number 42 of 2019. Resolution of Concord Township Council celebrating Delaware County Arts Week, which is September 21st through the 28th. Whereas music, drama, and the visual arts have always played a valuable role in Delaware County communities. Whereas the arts bring enrichment, enjoyment, added vibrancy to community life, and a sense of accomplishment and purpose to the individual. Whereas the Delaware County Arts Consortium is made up of more than 20 organizations that provide world-class experiences right here in Delaware County. And whereas the Delaware County Arts Consortium will celebrate the inaugural Delco Arts Week from September 21st to the 28th, featuring special events, exhibits, workshops, concerts, tours at participating venues across the country. Prior to asking for a motion, I think, Eric, you're here from the Darlington Fine Arts Center. I'm assuming you're going to be playing a role in this Delco Does Arts? Okay.
Good evening. Yes, my name is Eric Carter-Thompson. I'm the Executive Director at Darlington Arts Center. I come to you today as a representative of the steering committee of the Delaware County Arts Consortium, which as of today is over 35 organizations. So we've been growing since the draft.
Amanda takes a little bit of time to
It
catch
says
up.
more than 20. It's okay, you were right. The Delaware County Arts Consortium was created in 2009 when there was a threat of arts funding being cut by the state. About 10 organizations at that time, including Darlington Arts Center, Community Arts Center, Media Theater, and others, came together as a meeting of the minds to solve the problem of losing funding, what we could do. And it became a monthly gathering of minds so that we can come together without competition to solve the problems in the arts and to successfully celebrate the things that we've been able to accomplish. Through those conversations and those collaborations, the idea of Delco Arts Week came, and through the support of the Foundation for Delaware County and Visit Delco PA, our tourism bureau of the county, we are putting forth this first ever Delco Arts Week. So during the week of September 21st through September 28th, we have over 50 events happening across the county with over 35 organizations. And with council's permission, I did bring flyers today, and I'd love to show you because we're very excited. There's a map that you can bring of the entire county that can show you what's going on. On the back is a list based on different categories. So if you're looking for an event for kids, which is what Darlington is doing, September 22nd from 2 to 5. There's that. You can also, thank you very much. I've been practicing. We also have a website, delcoarts.org, which will be lively updated. So you can go on there any day of this week and kind of get the list of everything and the directions to everything. We're very excited to say that this is the first annual because we have already set plans for the second. We have already set plans to have the support of the second. We are so grateful to the township for this recognition, and we look forward to many more years of the arts in Concord Township and Delaware County.
In detailed explanation, we have a motion to approve resolution number 42 of 2019.
So moved.
We have a second.
Second.
Any questions or discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay. Next is resolution number 43 of 2019, which is the Delco Greenways grant application for the Octorara Trail. Whereas Delaware County has established an open space and recreation municipal grant program to be utilized by the municipalities of Delaware County. Whereas the municipality of Concord, Delaware County, Pennsylvania, desires to participate in the Delaware County Open Space and Greenways Municipal Grant Program in order to fund the Octorara Trail Phase 1B construction. Whereas the municipality will have available $50,000 for its required match. And Amanda, then we will be leveraging this 50 into?
Well, that's what, so we have 50,000 as part of the grant application we apply for Octorara Trail Phase 1B. They follow the match, so it could be more than this, actually.
At least we'll
So,
get-
but that's what we start, it's sort of like the starting.
Okay. So we need a motion to approve resolution number 43 of 2019. A motion, do we have a second? Questions or discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Next item on the agenda is the authorization, and I want to repeat just the authorization. This does not mean this zoning ordinance would go into effect. To advertise a zoning ordinance amendment to Chapter 210 proposed by Astoria Kennett for a healthcare center. Juleson did a fine job, I thought, in giving you the Cliff Notes version, but there is a Astoria Kennett, an applicant that wants to build a building in Concord Township on Route 202, basically is a medical building for hip and knee replacements. The only thing that's different is they're going to want to be allowed to keep the patient there overnight for up to 48 hours, I think is what the ordinance says. I think Rothman has one of these somewhere in Bucks County or Montgomery County. I think they have a facility like this now. This will be Limerick, that's it. I recently had my hip done, and I was at Bryn Mawr, and I was there overnight. Next day, I was home. So I think this is just a way of providing that service sort of as a one-stop shop. It would also require that if the ordinance is approved after the hearing, and we're months away from that, that it would require a conditional use before this council. What that means is that even if the ordinance is approved, in order for them to use the site, there would have to be another hearing in front of this council where we would put conditions on that use. Maybe there's a driveway access, maybe there's a parking lot light or something that needs to be tweaked. Get a lot more input from the residents. But I want to reinforce again, and I think Rich did a good job in looking at it preliminarily, and Josh had some very good questions. There would be a full hearing on this at a future date. So we need a motion to just authorize the advertisement of the zoning ordinance amendment, Chapter 210. We have a second.
Second.
Okay. Any questions or discussion?
Both.
Go ahead.
Anybody on council have any dealings with, or ever had any business with Astoria Kennett?
Not I. No. Have you?
Was this discussed in? Have you? I have not.
Okay, good. It was unanimous.
When was the, that's a good question, Tom. When was the last time that the zoning task force met, and did they discuss this?
You're head of the zoning task force. Did you discuss it?
Am I the head of the zoning task force?
Yeah, I thought you are, aren't you?
I am
You're
not the head of the
you're
zoning
ordinance
task force.
committee.
You're the head, you're the chair of all the committees.
Well, I don't think we did. I think they came in and made a presentation months ago, council, and asked
We
for
try to pass the.
us to consider the authorization. I don't know how much better you can do than bringing it to an ordinance committee and bring it right to the body that's going to vote on it. So, I'm not mistaken, it was going to be a 72-hour stay originally, and it was going to be a 48-hour, and I think we also wanted to have it as a conditional use in order to give us another bite at the apple.
That's correct.
If you could identify yourself for the record.
My name is Gina Gerber. I'm here on behalf of I've been involved with regard to sorry, is that better?
Yes.
Yeah, closer to the mic.
Our office has been involved with regard to various presentations before council and planning commission with regard to this ordinance. So this is not the first time you've seen it. This is the newest version. Delaware County Planning Commission has said to go ahead with passing this, and Planning Commission also doesn't have any issue with the current version of this ordinance. It has been amended after we did appear before council previously, as Councilman Pileggi acknowledged. We had gone from a 72-hour maximum stay down to a 48-hour maximum stay. We've also incorporated the additional protection of the conditional use approval process with regard to this.
And again, since you have representing your client there, I think you're also aware that by us, if this motion approves tonight, this just starts the ordinance review process as outlined in our ordinances and in the municipality planning code to make it a zoning ordinance or not make it a zoning ordinance, correct?
That's correct.
So
And
there's-
just so, I'm sure you're fully aware of this, but the county planning commission has already reviewed this at its public meeting and has made a recommendation that council approve this
Okay.
ordinance. So we are, a little bit further down the road as far as it's
But
concerned.
we would still be required to have a ordinance hearing here duly advertised, and the
Absolutely.
public is invited to come and comment,
Absolutely.
and then we go from there. And then if that is passed and it goes to land development, we would also have a conditional use hearing, which is also duly advertised. The site is posted, the neighbors are alerted, and they're going to be able to come in and also talk about what their concerns might be or might not be.
That's
If
correct.
I'm not mistaken, I think at one of the presentations you made, most of the neighbors were in favor of it.
We do have neighbor support for this particular project, which I know is difficult to come by, but the neighbors are aware of the project. They've seen the various plans that we circulated so far, and we've met with them, and they are actually in support of this use on this property.
Seems personally to me, seems like an opportunity to, that presents itself for a redevelopment opportunity along the 202 corridor. I think it also, and all we're doing tonight is just saying, hey, let's take another deeper look at this by going through the process.
Didn't you say the same thing about ordinance 346, which we're about to repeal next?
We'll talk about 346 when we get to
Who
346.
wrote this ordinance initially? Was this,
This was an ordinance that was proposed by petition on behalf of Astoria Kennett. It was submitted to the township. As I stated previously, it's undergone some revisions based on the feedback that we've received from council on this particular ordinance.
well, I haven't given any feedback on it yet. I just actually got this in its final form not that long ago. Some of it was my fault. I was on vacation, that's for sure. But what happens after 48 hours if the person is still there and still needs care?
We're committed to having that person leave the facility. It is still a private facility. We have the right to have that person leave the
I think your client. You could identify yourself.
If I may, and this is all well and good, but the primary purpose this evening is to determine whether you're going to authorize advertisement of this particular amendment and to authorize a public hearing, so all of these comments can be made part of a record.
What happens if this
I
fatal- what happens if
couldn't
this
I
is
couldn't
fatally
agree
flawed
with
at
you
this point?
more. I couldn't agree with you more, and I think I asked Josh earlier that perhaps some of his questions that he was quizzing Mr. Julison on would be best served and best answered under the format of a hearing that would be duly advertised. I think we're
But we're
trying
going to
to
end up
conduct
having to
we're trying to-
re-advertise this
you're
again.
trying to conduct
through
the
the
hearing.
process.
You're trying to conduct the hearing at the authorization stage when the hearing should be conducted when the hearing is called for.
I'm trying to possibly save these people some time, because on the definition of a healthcare center, it says office or clinic for medical and dental examination or treatment of persons primarily on an outpatient basis, not exclusively, primarily, which is a very different definition. So this opens this up, just like the word proposed in our next cluster that we're going
I
to look
think,
at.
If I may just clarify just
This
at
is an
that
issue,
point.
among others.
Any temporary lodging guests are actually discharged from the surgery center at that point. So those patients have actually been discharged and are just receiving additional education in an overnight stay so that they can better recover.
What I'm concerned about is that that any health center that meets this, which is basically any medical center at this point, the way this definition is written, falls under this ordinance, and that all of a sudden we could have overnight stays all over the place. And granted, it's conditional use, but the fact of the matter is, as we're finding out with ordinance number 346, that if it meets the criteria of the written text amendment, then you really have no choice but to allow the use.
Mr. President, point of order, please. I believe we're not having a hearing tonight, that the issue on the table is to authorize to advertise. Can we carry on with the question, please?
Why would we want to advertise a bad ordinance from the get-go?
Well, if you think it's a bad ordinance, we can correct it at the hearing stage. I think Mr. Gillespie is calling for a vote. We do have a motion and second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed?
No?
Okay. Motion carries. All right. Next is to reappoint Frank Lamanna.
No, that's the
No,
last.
I'm sorry. Ordinance number 388, rescinding and repealing ordinance number 346. Do you want to embellish this in any way, or is it pretty much what it says?
No, we've already had a public hearing regarding this matter. It's been duly advertised, and it's for this board's consideration.
Okay, do we have a motion to approve ordinance 388, which rescinds ordinance 346?
I just wanted a point of order, maybe for the public, so we could understand what ordinance 388 is.
Sure. Ordinance 388 is an ordinance which essentially will remove Section 210-127D that was added to the Concord Township zoning code pursuant to Ordinance 346, which allowed a residential use in the C2 district.
Thank you.
All right.
I move that we approve ordinance number 388, rescinding and appealing ordinance number 346 of 2013.
All right, do we have a second?
Second.
Any questions or discussion?
Just to add on to Mr. Donahue's remarks, is that what brought this to a head was the Pulte project for 254 townhomes over at the old Chip and Putt. Pulte is trying to sneak their way in under a, let's say, poorly written ordinance. And it looks like we're about to do that again with this Astoria Kennett ordinance.
Okay, Josh, we already voted
but-
Astoria Kennett. Do you have anything else you want to add, or should I just call for the vote?
I do. This is, again, a classic example of how far behind the curve we are with our zoning and land planning. We need to get our hands wrapped around comprehensive rezoning and land planning in Concord Township, or else we're going to start seeing this happen over and over, because all we've done is point a crumbling brick wall, and it's not working anymore.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I'd like to vote no to that. I think it could have been fixed with some changes to the language. It did pass. Next is item number 5, reappointment of Frank Lamanna to the Zoning Hearing Board to a 5-year term to expire on September 3rd, 2024. Frank, how old are you going to be by then?
I would be honored to make that motion.
You're going to be honored to make that motion.
I'll be second.
Okay, any questions or discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 John, if you could handle items 6 and 8, we'll do those, and then we'll get back to 7.
Sure. So for Miller Miller Brothers on the adaptive control lights. We have a payment and a change order. The payment is in the amount of $69,163.34. And the change order, there was an increase for $7,050. This is for a new technology that surfaced after the contract was was approved by PennDOT. This is a grant program that is funded by PennDOT. Township has a match. So we have everybody agreeing to this change order. And it's time for us to approve it here and make payment. So that's in the form of a motion for $69,163.34 to Miller Brothers in Conshohocken, PA.
Do we have a motion? Do we have a second?
Second.
Any questions or discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, John, you're going to jump to number 6 now?
This is the road program. This is the largest expenditure that we approved tonight. This is for a payment $558,954.53. And we also have a change order attached to that, which is a decrease in the amount of the contract of $18,327. So that payment with the associated change order is in the form of a motion.
Have a motion, do we have a second?
And just to clarify the record, I believe this is item on the agenda number 8. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Any questions or discussion?
When did that change order come in?
Pardon?
When did that change order come in?
Actually, you're seeing it now. So what happened was, when they were going and doing the work, some of the base was better than anticipated. So when they do these public bids, they have to anticipate the worst and include that in the bid. And so there was less fill that was basically needed in certain areas. So as part of this is their first payment. So they included that in here, the decrease, and then there were actually several additions. All in all, it comes out underneath contract.
On the second page of the
This
attachment.
is it's a unit price contract, and there are 7 items that are being decreased and 8 items that are being increased, but the overall net effect is $18,327, which was subtracted from the total contract price. So that's a recommendation of our engineer. This was submitted August the 26th.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, next is item number 7. Amanda, you want to just walk us through this? Is that time of year again for the MMO, right?
Yeah, sure. Act 205 governs the funding requirements for all municipal pension plans. Every municipality, by I believe it's October 1st, has to have approved the amount of money that they're responsible to contribute into the next year. It's your commitment to fund the pension plan.
And in this year's, our commitment is $199,745.
Yes, that is correct.
We would need a motion for the approval of the MMO and the amount for 2020, the amount of $199,745. We have a motion.
So moved.
We have a second.
Second.
Questions or discussion?
It's absolutely amazing that we're like, what, 97% funded?
Yes.
That is correct. It's fantastic.
It's fantastic.
Okay, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Okay, last on the agenda is to accept as complete for filing and for review the conditional use application of La Fava Restaurant for outdoor dining. This is over in the shopping center where the old Mile High Steakhouse was and Primo's Hoagie. They're proposing to put in a outdoor dining area, basically between their building and if you know where the bank is. So there's a fully drawn set of drawings. It'll be part of a conditional use hearing. So we would need a motion to accept that plan as complete for filing. I also think we don't have that, that's scheduled for October, isn't it? The hearing for Fava.
That'll be in October, so we
That'll
can
be in
get comments
October,
back by the planning agencies.
All right, so we have a motion to accept that plan.
So moved.
We have a second. Questions or discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Amanda, we got some, biggest thing, you have your calendar attached here, right?
Yep, that is correct.
Biggest thing, again, is Community Day, 4 PM to dusk, Saturday.
Sure.
Be there.
Yeah.
Motion to adjourn? Second?
Second it.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you for coming out this evening.